Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel, your go-to destination for deep dives into the most refined machines on the road. Today, we're talking about a vehicle that's been quietly making waves in the luxury sedan world, the 2025 Genesis G90. This car isn't just about luxury, it's about redefining what luxury means in the modern era. It doesn't rely on a century-old badge to prove its worth. Instead, it earns your respect the moment you lay eyes on it and completely wins you over once you step inside. If you think you know what a flagship sedan should feel like, the 2025 Genesis G90 is here to challenge that perception, and possibly change it for good. Genesis, as a brand, has been on a fascinating journey. In just a few short years, it's gone from being a curious newcomer in the luxury space to a full-blown competitor taking on the titans like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Audi. The G90 is the crown jewel of that strategy, its most ambitious, refined, and confident product yet. The 2025 version is not a total redesign but rather a thoughtful evolution. It retains everything that made the previous model so impressive while fine-tuning the details, updating the tech, and sharpening the driving experience. The result is a sedan that feels mature, graceful, and incredibly self-assured. From the very first glance, the 2025 G90 makes its presence known. It's long, low, and wide, with proportions that scream sophistication without being loud. The signature crest grille leads the front end, flanked by the now iconic two-line LED headlight setup. It's a look that's instantly recognizable yet refreshingly different from the sea of chrome-heavy German sedans. Genesis isn't chasing anyone with this design, it's carving its own lane. And it works beautifully. Every body line flows seamlessly, the flush door handles add a futuristic touch, and the subtle chrome accents along the window lines and lower body panels give it just the right amount of flash. The paint options for the G90 are also worth noting. Genesis has invested in premium finishes that shimmer differently depending on the light, offering a level of richness you usually only see on ultra-luxury vehicles. Even in a neutral tone like Makalu Grey or Verbia White, the G90 stands out. But it does so with elegance, not ego. That's a recurring theme with this car, it never tries too hard. It simply exists in a space of quiet confidence. Step inside, and the experience goes from luxurious to almost surreal. The cabin of the 2025 G90 is an absolute masterclass in craftsmanship and restraint. Instead of overwhelming you with screens, buttons, and flash, Genesis has created an interior that's serene, thoughtful, and deeply luxurious. Soft touch materials, high-grade Napa leather, open-pore wood trim, and real metal switchgear surround you. Every surface you touch feels carefully considered. The seats are sculpted for long-haul comfort and come with massage functions, ventilation, heating, and even an extending leg rest in the rear. The headliner is suede, the carpeting feels plush, and even the scent of the cabin has been curated with a built-in fragrance diffuser that you can customize to your liking. Technology is seamlessly integrated, starting with the dual 12.3-inch digital displays. The gauge cluster is crisp, clean, and customizable, while the infotainment system is intuitive, quick to respond, and loaded with features. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are both wireless, and you've got access to Genesis's intelligent assistant, which responds to natural voice commands. You can ask it to adjust the climate, navigate to your next destination, or even open the windows, all without touching a button. There's also a fingerprint scanner that acts as a secure way to start the car and activate your personal profile. It's futuristic, but it feels natural. And then there's the sound system, a 26-speaker Bang & Olufsen 3D setup that has to be heard to be believed. The clarity, depth, and richness of the sound are astonishing. Whether you're listening to a podcast, classical symphony, or bass-heavy hip-hop track, the system transforms the cabin into a studio-quality listening space. Genesis even offers custom sound zones for each passenger, allowing you to personalize your audio experience. It's details like this that elevate the G90 into a class of its own. Under the hood, the 2025 Genesis G90 offers two versions of the same 3.5-liter twin-turbocharged V6. The base model produces 375 horsepower and 391 pound-feet of torque, which is already more than enough for smooth, confident driving. But if you're craving a little extra boost, there's a version with a 48-volt electric supercharger that bumps the output to 409 horsepower and 405 pound-feet of torque. Both are paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission that shifts seamlessly, and both deliver their power with a smoothness that feels almost electric. Acceleration is strong but never harsh. It doesn't launch, it glides. The G90's adaptive air suspension with road preview technology is another highlight. Using cameras to read the road ahead, it adjusts the damping in real time to deliver the smoothest ride possible. Potholes, bumps, and uneven surfaces are essentially erased from your experience. It's the kind of suspension you typically only find on six-figure ultra-luxury cars, and yet, here it is, standard on the G90. Cornering is confident thanks to rear-wheel steering and all-wheel drive, making this full-size sedan feel surprisingly nimble in tighter spaces. What really sets the G90 apart, though, is the rear seat experience. If you're the type of driver who prefers to be chauffeured, or if you simply appreciate a true luxury back seat, this car delivers in a big way. The rear seats are fully adjustable, with individual infotainment screens, tray tables, climate control, massaging functions, and even mood lighting. There's a calming ambience to the whole setup, one that makes long drives feel like a spa session. Genesis clearly wanted the G90 to rival not just cars like the S-Class, but even executive models like the BMW 7 Series Protection or Audi A8L, and in many ways, it absolutely does. In terms of safety and driver assistance, the G90 comes loaded. It features everything from adaptive cruise control and highway driving assist to automatic emergency braking with pedestrian and cyclist detection. There's also blind spot monitoring with collision avoidance, a 360-degree surround view camera, parking sensors, rear cross-traffic alert, and even remote smart parking, which lets the car park itself while you stand outside and watch. Genesis doesn't just want to keep you safe, they want to actively prevent problems before they even have a chance to happen. The 2025 Genesis G90 also brings a few hidden gems to the table. For instance, the noise-cancelling technology in the cabin isn't just passive insulation, it actively scans for road noise and plays counter frequencies to cancel it out. The result? An eerily quiet cabin even at highway speeds. There's also an easy close feature for the doors, which allows them to shut softly with just a touch, no need to slam. Even the glove box opens with a gentle press and soft release, like a high-end jewelry drawer. These are the kind of small, satisfying touches that luxury buyers truly appreciate. Now let's talk about price. The base model of the 2025 G90 starts just under £90,000,